Alrighty, hey, what's going on? My name is Wade Jensen, and this is going to be my oral presentation for energy efficiency in modern construction. Anyway, let's get right into it. So, what is the definition of energy efficiency? The definition of energy efficiency in construction is being able to make the most possible efficient house with the limited resources. So let's break this down and define what it means. So when you think about energy efficiency, it's not necessarily meaning net zero emissions, because net zero emissions is a far off concept that right now we cannot really fathom because we don't have the technology in order to meet net zero emissions. It's just not possible for the current day and age. So energy efficiency is taking the resources we have and using the best and brightest new and upcoming technology in order to make a brand new building and become as energy efficient as possible. So let's define this and let's talk about how it works. So when you look at that slide right there, I wanted to draw your attention to the right slide or to the right picture. So the building envelope, let's define what that is. A building envelope is literally all the materials that you build and put together in order to make the building a thing. So that could include everything from the foundation all the way up to the building walls and everything. So it's everything from foundation to the walling to the flooring to the insulation to the waterproofing and permeable barriers on the outside to your exterior cladding. And now, why is this important? Because when you have an energy efficiency home, it's not only what you are doing to save, let's say, the environment now and protect our limited resources, since everything on the world is limited and we all are going to have to live on it, future generations for the next however long. And energy efficiency is basically taking these and assembling them in the most critical way that has been defined by architects. It's a study for many future generations and everything to put them in the most energy efficiency ways so that it will work for the future. Pertinent to everybody, let's take a little step back. So I know it hasn't snowed much this year, but when it does snow and you're driving around town or walking to school or whatever, and you see snow on a roof, let's say you see snow on one roof, but then on the other roof it isn't. And that's all because of the R value of the insulation. That's because that house is not insulated very good. And that is a simple concept of energy efficiency. So if you also look at the bottom, it kind of shows you all the windows, doors, and everything that you need. So let's talk about ways that you can make energy efficiency a possibility. So it's pretty simple, but across the United States, there is climate zones. And if you look at the climate zone of the continental United States, there's all these different climate zones. All of these different climate zones have different building requirements because they have different codes that have to be followed all the way through. So say that there might be hurricanes down in Florida. However, in, let's say, Kansas, there's tornadoes. Each of those building codes will be a little bit different, but a building code being different doesn't mean it can't be energy efficient. So the first thing you want to look at is the orientation of you can take the building and you can rotate it and orient it towards the sun. So on certain parts of the years, maybe it's like you live in Utah and you want it to get a little more sun, so you're oriented so the sun will come in through the winter, but it won't come in through the summer. So then it is in the shade during the summer, so it is being more energy efficient. So the best thing to do is you want to design the building to fit the region. And this is important because when you want to fit the region, there's like the design of the building is the most important step in construction, as long as the most important step in energy efficiency. All right, so let's talk about it. Is energy efficiency feasible? So there are a few things that energy efficiency why people look back from energy efficiency, and there's such things as the personal budget. So when it comes to building a lot of these projects, there's a lot of personal budget and money problems that come into this. And that's basically, do I have enough money? Am I going to be able to do what I want with these resources? And is it possible to achieve my goals? So personal budget is like the big deal breaker, but altogether when you spend a little bit of more money on being energy efficient products, even if that's appliances and whatnot in your home, if you can't make a huge step towards it, it will save in the long run. Because if you invest in something, it's just like in economics, investing in it will save you in the long run because you have to spend less energy to heat or cool your house, which that is a big cost of your monthly bills every month. So now let's jump down to the material usage. So there is a whole bunch of different materials that you can use in making this house more energy efficient. But anyway, I wanted to draw your attention to the SIPs, the structurally insulated panels, that's what you call them. So basically it's a composite of OSB with polystyrene foam in the middle. And they first developed this technique in Canada, and it's pretty useful because it pretty much makes so they all fit together with splines and attachments and screws. But this building is proved to be as structurally stable as another building, but it cuts all of the air leakage and diffusion, and that's what you have most of the problem with energy efficiency is air leakage and diffusion. It cuts it down to almost a quarter of what a regular building would do. And why is this? It's because of simple engineering. These SIPs are designed in a commercial and company that takes all the measurements, and they would literally cut and build all of these and then ship them to your place for installation. So when it comes down to what energy efficiency is, air leakage is really the big key. Air leakage is a pretty bad problem because there's no way to make a building 100% airtight, or you would never be able to breathe or have ventilation or anything like that. So you do want to have a little bit of it, but there's a boundary that meets the energy efficiency, which is known as the 80% coefficient. You want it to be less than 20% air leakage, or your building's not considered energy efficient. Alright, so I want to just connect this with modern times now. So if I pull your attention down to that picture of the energy efficiency in the public buildings. So I could have pulled that up and I could have pulled anything else up, but I want to draw your attention directly to that. So the reason energy efficiency is a thing is because they want to cut carbon emissions, and that's just a future goal of pretty much every country, first and second world country across the globe. So the best thing you can do to make yourself ready for the future, you always want to be prepared, like Boy Scouts motto. You want to plan ahead and be prepared. So as you can see in that one, energy efficiency, and I could have brought up a whole bunch of other things, but I thought this was a good mark for it. Energy efficiency standards are just skyrocketing. They're going through the actual roof right now, and every state's requiring more and more energy efficient buildings being built for public and residential use. So there's also new EPA regulations and standards on the materials being used. So there's some really good materials that you can use for being energy efficient, such as concrete being one of the main ones, or better all value insulation. But some of the EPA standards are cutting back on the production of that because it's pretty harming on the environment and carbon emissions and all of that for building these buildings. So altogether, I want to just say that when you are building something and you think of energy efficiency, I want you guys to think of the more modern term, I'd say. It's the wise use of limited resources. That is because simply nothing on earth is unlimited, and you want to limit what you're using but make the best building possible. So why not, when you're going to build something, build your future house, why not make it energy efficient and save on that future cost of all of that heating and cooling and you might even get a benefit for it. There might be potential packages that will help you in government grants in the future. Alrighty guys, so I hope this was a pretty good presentation. I hope you guys liked the little layout of my thing. I just thought it was the best way to do it possible. You guys could see my face, you could see the slides I made at the same time. So I hope that this works out the way it did. And anyway guys, thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your day.